finally. Some goddamn entertainment.
Hey, listen up, it's the Topaz in the chat. We got the vibe burning up just like that. Come on, Machinko's place where the
Welcome back, Topaz. Hope you brought your A game. Welcome back, Matt Backslash. Hope you brought your A game. Welcome back, Sleepy Developer. Hope you brought your A game, or at least some decent jokes. Welcome back, you weirdo.
Welcome, Swarm, to the stream where pixels flicker and the chattel peak. Though you fluttered off, your presence remains. In whispers of wings and echoes of game. Here in Majenko's space we unite to laugh and cheer through day and night. So the buzz, if you will, is this little band here with the family. That's the jam.
Welcome back, Princess Fuzzy Butt. Try to stay on topic this time, you chaotic bastard. Alright, settle down, you bunch of degenerates. Ends are happening. Shut the fuck up and wait.
What the fuck? Now I gotta deal with periods. Seriously? You're all saints for enduring those ads. Seriously.
And with the ads over, we'll start. Hello, how you doing? Oh, hello Matt, hello Sleepy, hello Swarm, hello Cobb, and hello Dopaz. Thanks for the 30-bit thing that you do there. The bot has indeed gone through a lot of changes. And here comes the Canadian. Hello. Right, yes, today I'm writing a new HTTP client in Godot because the one in Godot seems to keep on locking up. Yes, bot. Bot indeed. OMG, bot. The bot is being botty. So I've been working on this for like most of the afternoon. So I want to finish it, so hence I am doing it on stream. And Jenko Tech does got. Does Godot not have curl? No. Godot has its own built-in. In fact, it has two built-in HTTP clients. One is easy to use but doesn't do much. One is hard to use and does a lot. But the one, they're both actually, well, one is a wrapper around the other. But they have a problem. Well, they appear that, well, I don't know that it's the HTTP client. Hey, RF, how you doing? But you'll notice my overlays just freeze every now and then. And I don't know why.
I read programmers.
It's not my code that is freezing, because I can't pause the execution of the program and analyze the stack and do debugging and backtrace and all those sort of things. Which means that it's something in the core of Godot that is freezing, and not my code. And I reckon it's the HTTP client is doing something that's just getting itself locked up. So I figured I should write my own in GD script entirely, so that if something does lock up, it will be able to break it, and I can debug it. Execute debugger live. Fitting drops of chick. Ouch. Hello, Chloe. I can segvit, I can crash it, I can do what I want, but then I'm into the internals of Godot, and God knows what that's like. Have you seen the internals of Godot? They're not fun. So easier to write. This plot twist is actually a piece of cod. Yeah. It's easier to write my own code that I know what it's doing and can debug it than to try and debug somebody else's code. There's so much going on in Godot, though, that it's... because it's running it inside the editor, basically, I would crash Godot, but that wouldn't be crashing the overlays, that'd be crashing Godot. I'd need to then get Godot to crash the overlays, and it can't, it can only terminate them. So yeah, I wouldn't know how to even begin with it. But with this, with my own system, I can, because I know how it works. So currently I've got 3 classes on the go. I've got an overall sort of managing class that does the work. I've got a request class that is a HTTP request and deals with the lifetime of that request. And I've got a URL that deals with parsing URLs at the moment. And it sort of works-ish. At the moment I've got it just sending a request, and that's all. So if I run my little test program here, I get in TCP dump here, I get, which is behind my head. Oh, hang on. Nobody has used the "you're being an idiot" redeem to tell me that I'm being an idiot. There we go, right. You can see what I'm doing now. Let me just rewind back to where I was a few minutes ago.
I
Right.
do apologise. I'm an idiot.
Thank you, Swarm. Coding 101 class. So yes, I've got one class here, which is like the overall wrapping controlling class, called Neo HTTP. I'm always trying to show you something. Especially if I say that something's behind my head and there's nothing behind my head. I've got the Neo HTTP request class, which is an individual HTTP request to the server of whatever form, and a URL class that deals with parsing and splitting up and building URLs. At that point it was, yes. So when I run it now, at the moment it only sends a request, it doesn't receive the response from it. If I run my little script on TCP dump here, I get the get request coming in here, which is getting a text file from my server. And here is the response, so it obviously worked. HTTP 200, content length 34, blah blah blah, text plain, and a body of, this is the body of the response. So I'm submitting a request, but I'm not doing anything with the response from it. Do I want a 1.1 keep alive there? Connection keep alive. At the moment I've got 3. I've got a content length, I've got a host, and I've got a connection. I am intending for the connection to keep alive. Well, I'll show you what I've got in here. It's I keep track in this class. I can have as many instances of this main wrapper class as I want, but I keep a track of the current host and the current port that I'm connected to, and whether it's running with TLS or not. Then when I run a request, I call the reconnect if needed. And if I'm currently connected to the correct host, if I'm not connected to the correct host, I disconnect and reconnect to the correct host. So if I'm already connected to the host, it should just carry on the same pipe that it's got. But when I'm dealing with the response, I'll be looking at the connection header in the response. If it says connection close, I'll close it. I'll be nice and close it. So email in queue. Profitable recruitment business available for acquisition. Life sciences. Pity the person they tried to send it to. Not our format of email addresses was cremated in 2020. Oh dear. Yes. So at the moment I've just got it submitting a request. And now I need to deal with the response. So yeah, no, but if I don't do it now, I'll forget. And it's just me connecting to my own server, so I don't care really about server load or anything like that. So I want to do it properly. All right, so I'm submitting the request with this command here, processing.submitStream, which then dumps me into phase 4 of the operation, where I now need to be reading. So the stream is the actual data coming from the server. Spent some years doing very, very raw HTTP. You start needing the 1.1 at around thousands of requests per second. Yeah, I know. But the thing is, this is going to be used for communication with things like Twitch, which is not going to be a huge amount of requests, with the bots server, which just wants to be one connection, which is just there, and I just send the data up. I don't need to be making a new connection every time I send a request to the bot, and the speech synthesis server. So it's going to be single connection to single server a lot of the time, and that I just may as well keep the server open. So. So if there are any bytes on the stream, then I want to pass those bytes to the request. So and I haven't written this processing function yet, but I'm probably going to have it so that if it returns probably a true, then it means it's finished processing the request, I think. Or should I have it... let's actually have an actual value that it returns. So let's just... I know these should be enums, but I don't care. So I want... So, because I want to have multiple return values of continue, done, and done and close it. And while being here today after years staring into some custom HTTP client and server code, yes. This is a Unix system, I know this. So if it's not continue, then we are finished with the request. Actually, no, let's do this properly. So the request response is that. If match rec response done, phase equals 2. No, phase equals 0, isn't it, for the next one to deal with. You even tried to use that 3D file browser once. So did I, actually, yes. It was very slow, very clunky. So phase 0 is basically idle, ready to process the next request. Done, close. Phase equals 0. If stream is not the socket, stream dot disconnect from peer, I think it is. That one there. Yeah, disconnect from stream. And socket disconnect from host. Right, so I need this process now. It's about the only thing you can do with a MacBook, isn't it, Chloe? Right, so the request. As a process. Let's make that a bit bigger so you can see it. If you're Ben, you can have 2,000 tabs open at once. Yes, but it's not usable. It causes Twitch to go twitchy. So, when I'm processing here, this is a stream peer. What can I get from it? I can use get data to get the current chunk of data. Yeah, if I get the available bytes here. Okay, then. Then I get the chunk of data. Just thinking how I want to do this. So I need to split out the headers and get the headers. If I were doing this on like an Arduino, I'd do it a character at a time, 1 byte at a time, until I've got the headers. Let's add a variable here. The read state. All these bytes are making you hungry. I could do it here, yes. I could easily do it here, because the data I'm getting is an array, so I can easily access each byte. It's a packed byte array. Tactically join the stream, not hungry. My response headers will be in a dictionary. If I do it, keep it as packed byte arrays. Yeah, if I'm in the header, because I need to be able to cope, I suppose, really with binary data as well coming in. So if I'm in the header, then I need to process it as headers. If I'm in the body, I just need to process it as raw data.
Ugh, adverts. Go away.
So I need to. I can't guarantee that the chunk of data that I'm getting will be a boundary on a line boundary. So. Let's have a line buffer. Hey GPin, how you doing? So if read state is 0,
Welcome back, GP24/7. Hope you brought snacks.
actually, do I want... No, I don't want the headed data because I can pass it straight into the dictionary.
Appreciate
So if we're in the headers...
those ads, you beautiful bastards.
Now, I can't remember whether HTTP... Godot Crash is doing HTTP. It crashes somewhere, yes. And we're doing HTTP and it just despite it, absolutely. Somewhere it crashes. It locks up. And you can't access the debugger when it does it. Which tells me that it's internal to Godot that it crashes. And not my code that is at fault. So I'm writing my own code to replace the code that I think crashes. If it still crashes, then it's not this code. So, we'll see. Now, get string is a specially encoded string, which I can't use. So I need... I'll just get one character. No, actually I need to... No, what I want to do... Yeah. 4... byte, no in range, 0, bytes. So for each of the bytes, in turn, I want to get the data for the byte. Does it do array slicing? It can, possible, I think, yes. But that's beyond me. I can never work out in my mind with array slicing and things like that the inclusion and exclusion of starting and ending bytes and where the boundary is, and so I just do it a byte at a time. I can optimize this bit later. So if the official line ending of a HTTP line, is it a carriage return? I can't remember. Is it a carriage return or a line feed, or is it both? It is both. Right. So if I throw away the carriage return and just do the line feed. What do I want to do? I don't want really this as a character, as an integer. I want it as a string. CHR, that's it. String CHR char int. There we go. That gives me the character as an actual character. So now if I do match char, so the carriage return I shall ignore. The line feed I want what did I call it? Response line buffer.
Seems like everyone's either bragging about their tab count or reminiscing about ancient CPUs. Ben's probably cooking something to celebrate the technological progression.
I shall strip off anything around the edges, any junk around the edges of the line buffer. Actually, let's go for the default. I want to add on the char onto the line buffer. Okay, if response line buffer is an empty string. That must be the end of the headers. So I want read state to become 1. Else if I go response line buffer split on a colon, then I can do response headers bits 0 to lower equals bits 1 dot strip edges. And empty my line buffer. So theoretically, for each of the characters that comes in, I ignore any carriage returns. On the line feed, I just trim off any white space there might be around the edge. If it's empty, then I just set it to the next state. If it's not, then I add, or I split the, actually I need comma, true, comma 2, to say to split the line that I've got on the first colon. Then take the first part of the string, turn it to lowercase and use that as the key to the headers. And the second part of the string, with any white space stripped around the edges, just in case it was colon, well, it will be colon space, so we lose that space. Store that in the response headers dictionary and clear the line buffer. Anything else that comes in, it adds it to the line buffer as a character. Split on a colon! I know what you're talking about. Yes. Splitting colons is what happens in 454, I assume. Okay. Right, so actually my body data here, the response body, I actually want to have this as a packed byte array, don't I? Because it could be binary. I don't need that because I got... This is going to have to be packed byte arrays, is it? Yeah. Append array text. And I'm emitting packed byte array so that I can deal properly with binary data. Of course he does. Right, so now I'm reading body data.
Jeeping 24/7. Yeah, a swarm of dead insects is right. It's a joke this chat will latch onto, referencing a certain adult website. Don't ask me to elaborate, you sicko.
Okay. Varsilen. Actually, I shall do it here. Content length. So at this point, content length equals response headers content length 2 int, hopefully. Right, so if the content length is 0 at this point, then we return done. Although that, if I put this in here actually, so if there is no content, just return done straight away. We never get to read state 1. So in read state 1, we're reading the body. So response body, append, data, byte no. Subtract 1 from the content length, and if it's 0, return done. And if none of that happens, if none of those returns happen, then we return continue to say wait for more data. That might do the job. But here I want to go if response headers connection dot to lower equals close, return neo http done close. And add that into here as well. So if we're getting a connection close, we'll tell it to close. If we're not, we'll keep it open. Right. This is not going to work, I know for a fact. I need to take that printf out there. Let's add in here print processing dot get body, and in there as well. See what happens. It crashes. Out of bounds, get index 2 on this one here. Okay. What does it have at this point then? Got data 0, 0. Okay. Why is it doing got data 0, 0? need to feed it more, yes. But that's coming from stream peer. On the peer, I'm sending it here. I'm submitting it to stream. No, if get available bytes is greater than 0, then process stream. Back up the SD card from the upstairs media pie that you rebuilt yesterday. Good idea. Let me just check that that's not doing something silly. Get available bytes. Returns the number of bytes this stream peer has available. Fair enough. It says there's 280. Yep, 280, but it's only getting 2. Weird. Why is it only getting 2 when it says there's 280 available? Get data. Returns a chunk of data with the received bytes. The number of bytes to be received can be requested in the bytes argument. If not enough bytes are available, the function will block until the desired amount is received. This function returns 2 values, an error code and a data array. Okay.
All right, you bunch of degenerates. Ads are happening. Shut your traps for a bit.
Yeah, shut up and watch the ads. This is returning an array, not a packed byte array. Let's try it as just an array then instead. Ah, that's looking better. Ah, right. Okay. Weird. Okay. Hey, Matt, thanks for the resub.
Appreciate you all
Or for the sub, rather.
you beautiful
Gifted sub.
bastards.
To Matt NX. I need to sort out how that shows. That's it's a gifted sub to Matt from Swarm. Thank you so much, Swarm. Welcome to the subscribers, Matt.
Hope he uses that sub to back up more SD cards.
Ad eradication campaign. Sounds good to me. Hey, soon I'll be back up into double figures on subscribers if you're not careful. I've got 9 subscribers at the moment. Woohoo! I'll soon be into the big money. Ah, hang on. The first line is different, isn't it? Of course. That's got the response code in it. So I want here on a carriage return. On the first line, I need to parse it out differently. Now, to int, does that trim it on the first non-numeric character? Converts the string representing an integer number to an int. This method removes any non-number character and stops at the first decimal point. So that's not really guaranteed to work then, because, well, it's HTTP 200 success. The message that follows it could have a number in it. So what I need is basically the second word as a number. Bits equals response line buffer split on a space. Response status equals bits 1 to int. Can you do the same with the bot? The bot's not... Well, the bot's less annoying now, I think, now that it makes a bit of sense. Right, so if it's the first line, split it on spaces, get the second word and convert it to an integer. Hang on, is it? The format, I can't remember the format, my mind's gone blank. It's, yeah, http:/1.1 OK. So the second word is 200 for the status. If it's not the first line, then do things with it. Whoa, that's getting spammy, and I know why. Or part of it I know why. This is here I need to, if we're done, processing equals null to get rid of the currently processing one. And in here, once we've submitted the request, I want the response body to be empty. Hey, another one for our... Oh wow, I'm now up to 10 subscribers! 10! Woohoo! Thank you so much, Swarm.
Nice one. A swarm of dead insects. Let RF programmer dance.
So response headers is that, response status is 0. And now I need to get rid of some... What the hell's going on here? Oh, it's my stupid mouse pasting things that shouldn't be pasted. So from there all the way to there is a paste that shouldn't have happened. And from there to there is a paste that shouldn't have happened. I need to change my mouse.
With 500 bits, GPin247 says,
Tier 5, 100 mouse replacement fund.
Thank you so much, G-Pen. I suppose I'm going to have to replace my mouse then, aren't I? One moment. New mouse time. I need one that's got a slightly less twitchy button to it. That feels a bit better actually. It's a PS2, but that's okay. I've got an adapter somewhere. That one's not a bad one. That's a wheel mouse as well, so no, maybe not. I like wheel mice, but not for working. This one, yeah, a bit of a loose button on that one. It's a bit sticky as well. It's been well used, that one. That's a wheel mouse as well. Too many balls around here. In fact, that's a serial wheel mouse. 9-pin serial one. Whee! I'm not going to be using that one in a hurry. That's a Sun mouse. I can't use that. That's another bollock mouse. Another bollock mouse. Too many ball mice. Another ball mouse. That one is ghastly, but it would do the job. Cheap thing. It's got a much more reasonable button on it though in the middle there. Weighs almost nothing. I think the cable is the heaviest part of this mouse. That's a possible one. Most of the rest of these are really cheap things. Oh, more ball mice. That Wise one's quite good actually, but again that's PS2, so I'd need to find my adapter. This little Wise one's not too bad. Not a bit small though, I like a big mouse. I prefer a big mouse to a small mouse. Well used. The phrase is dangerous to utter around here, yes. Still bugger or copper in it, yes. More of a rat than. I like a nice capybara. I'd rather have a capybara. I'd rather be using my my old MX Pro thingy, my Logitech one. That's a really nice mouse, but it's just so overused. I mean, it's worthy of Room 454. The side of it is all disintegrated. The buttons don't work anymore. I need to replace the buttons in them, and it's seen better days, that one. But that is such a nice mouse to use. What else have I got? I could use an Apple one. Single button. No. I think for the time being, the simplest option. I'm torn between this cheap thing or the Wise mouse. Stuff. I'll use the cheap-ass one. It'll do the job. I've got a matching keyboard for it somewhere. You can almost fold it in half, it's that flimsy. This also has RGB, unfortunately. And you can't really turn it off. The one I have been using is Microsoft. But this is a bit sensitive, this bit just here at the top. It's very sensitive, this bit. Very sensitive. So we'll see how we get on with this one then. The MX Master 3S is what I need. Yeah, I love the MX Master. And this one is the MX Master. I've had it years, this one. The MX Master, I'm not sure what. It was part of a set with my G613 keyboard. So, but it's been well used, really well used. But yeah, I would love a new MX Master, because I found Logitech make really nice mice but shit keyboards. Well used, just like G-Pin. And just like Cobb, yes. Right, so what was I doing here? I was just about to run this, wasn't I? I was just about to get a cup of tea. I've just finished my cup of tea, actually. I wouldn't mind another one if you're offering. The history of Logitech is simple. They bought AMX, and so every Archimedes A series RISC PC came with a Logitech mouse. Double walk is time again. Oh, I wish I had some cider. I'm out of cider. Completely out of cider. Maybe I'll go and get myself a pint of squash, actually. Let me just go, and one thing I want to just look at here is in here, get body dot to ASCII string.
With 250 bits, Jeepin 24/7 says,
Tier 2, 150 cider fund.
Thank you very much, G-Pin. Yeah, I shall have to go and get some cider then. Get string from ASCII, although I should use a UTF-8, I suppose, shouldn't I? But it's only for debugging. But if I run this, I should get, this is the body of the response. Yes, we get a response. We get a real response. I can turn off these print bytes, print got data, etc. And in here, I'm just going to add a print closing connection. No, it's keeping the connection open. Okay, so now to test, in here, I should be able to submit the request multiple times, the same request multiple times, and it should run the same request repeatedly on one connection. But it's running it multiple times, but it's reconnecting every time. Why? It shouldn't be reconnecting. Right, let's have a look at the logic of this. If there's nothing currently processing, if there's something in the queue, then get the next one in the queue and attempt to reconnect if need to. Logic here? No. Rec equals new request. Well, no, it shouldn't. No, it shouldn't make any difference whether it's a new one or not, because it should be the same host.
The story about escaped animals. Just like Ben's cooking, is a chaotic mess.
So at this point it'll be reconnecting if needed. So it's my reconnect if needed logic is wrong. If the socket is currently null, there is no connection, then connect. If they differ, then... Oh, hang on, am I not... Now I know what the problem is. I know exactly what the problem is. Current host equals host. I'm not saving the current values. Current port equals port. Current TLS equals TLS. Okay. So this should now give a different response. There we go. No. It's still connecting each time. Oh, there it's connecting fresh. Means it must be reconnecting. No connection needed. Okay, so it's not actually doing it. It's not actually doing any reconnecting. It was that connected there was confusing me. So yeah, we've got connecting fresh, connected. This is the body of the response. No connection needed. This is the body of the response. No connection needed. This is the body of the response. No connection needed. This is the body of the response. So it kept the connection open and reused it. Pepcac indeed, yes. Take it away and burn it. Best thing to do with an SD card. 0.5% have not found any errors. Because the connected message is just me saying it's connected and it's not in the connected phase. So it's not really connected, it's ready to process a response. So then we submit, we get the response, and we're happy with it. Right, so now I need to sort out signals.
Ads are happening, folks. Shut your traps.
More ads? God. What are my adverts set up as anyway? My adverts, go away, I don't need to view the tutorial. I want to run 3 minutes per hour with 1 minute ad break every 20 minutes. So I suppose it's been 20 minutes, has it, since the last lot of ads? It's a quick 20 minutes. Keeps the pre-rolls at bay. Right, so we've hit the end of our request cycle here, so
You're welcome for the ads, you masochists.
right. If response status is greater than or equal to 200 and response status is less than 300, success emit self. And I shall do the same up here. between 300 and 400. I shall emit a redirect. Signal, and otherwise, if the status is greater than or equal to 400, failure emit. Okay, so now if I go into here and I can remove some of this debugging. And in here, get body dot toString from UTF-8. We'll do it properly. So now we should see our response coming back through this success signal to this function here. When I run it, yes we do, this is the body of the response, yay! So signals work for the full thing. What I want though, now, is a separate array here. Of packed byte array. The fragment for just the data that has arrived in this chunk. Fragment append data byte no. If actually no, there will be a fragment here, won't there? So fragment received, emit, self fragment. If we reach the end of the whole thing, otherwise I'm still doing it here, but only if fragment size is greater than 0. So I want this to be able to trigger a response signal for data that's coming in piecemeal, specifically for the bot. At the moment the bot, I send a request to the bot, it sits there, thinks, and thinks, and thinks, and then just sends the whole response in one big chunk. The normal default way that the bot should work is you send a response, and then as it's coming up with the response, it's sending you each chunk of the response individually in a little JSON packet, a piece at a time. So I want to be able to receive those a piece at a time and build up the response in the client here until it reaches the end of a paragraph or a suitable breakpoint within the limit of a single message on Twitch, and then submit that chunk of it to the TTS system for processing, whilst it's then continuing with the rest of the incoming data afterwards. So that the bot can actually, for longer responses, the bot can then actually respond quicker, sooner, whilst it's still waiting for other things to come. Is what I'd like. So hopefully this will also give me a fragment received on chunk rec UHTTP request chunk packed byte array. Print chunk dot to string from UTF-8. So now I should get the message twice in the response here. Yes, I do, because it's just one single chunk. Also good for receiving larger items like images and sound files and things like that, where it's going to come in pieces, and I can build it up and build it up and build it up and then send it out. So this is looking promising so far. Despite I've got some debugging in here that needs to go. That needs to go. That needs to go. Okay. It's a bit tidier. Right, this is looking promising. Now what I want to do, I've got TLS, but I don't know if that's going to do what I want it to do with HTTPS. Let's see what happens. No. Major failure. Actually, let's move these up to 4, 5, 4, 5, 5. URL dot get protocol equals if it's a HTTPS request, phase equals 3, else so now I want stream connect to stream socket. Nope. Expected 3 arguments. Of course, we need the common name, don't we? Connect to stream, get host. Actually, what we need. Let's bump this to 5. Oh, hang on, that was... Yeah, then 6, 6. Phase equals 4. Okay. Let's just print the TLS status for the moment. So we go 1 to 3. Okay. Status 3 is stream TLS is an error. But what is the error? I have no idea. It just tells me there's an error, but doesn't tell me what the error is. If there's an error, I shall disconnect. And abort the current one. And set the phase back to 0. Welcome back, Chloe. Right, so this should just give me one TLS error. Now, I don't know if TLS is what I actually want, because I want SSL. So what I need to do here is change to port 443. See what I get. Lots. Sausages! Don't mention sausages. Ben will appear, even though he's on holiday. I think it's probably complaining about trust or something, I think. Because it looks like it's transferring certificates and things there and doing things that it should be doing. But not working. So it's probably something to do with this TLS options. TLS options abstracts the configuration options for the stream peer TLS and packet peer DTLS classes. Objects of this class cannot be instantiated directly, and one of the static methods, client, client unsafe, or server, should be used instead. Creates a TLS client configuration which validates certificates and their common names. Creates an unsafe TLS client configuration where certificate validation is optional. So TLS options, client unsafe. Let's try sticking that into here. But we need a trusted chain null, that's okay. Still a TLS error. But I have here client unsafe as well in there, perhaps. Yep, TLS error.
Shush, ads are happening. Go away.
Let's add... Actually, let's reduce the amount of noise by only having one submit. Protocol analysis happening now. Nope, nothing interesting there. Because what we see is the connection being established. Then a bunch of junk being dumped up.
You're welcome for the ads.
Bunch of junk coming back down. And then disconnecting. Kangaroo burgers, zebra burgers, hot dogs, not from dogs. Nice disclaimer. I'm going to have to do the unthinkable. They're loading a certificate at this end. But they're using it as an actual client server there. I shouldn't need to give it a certificate because it should just be getting a certificate from the other end. That's the whole point of HTTPS. Warning, contains sausages. Sausage is almost too big. Oh, perfect size. Perfect size. They're small sausages though. I was munching on Falukorv the other day. Nom nom nom. That's sausage that big. Sausage as big as Carrot House. Sausage! We love sausage here. Everyone here loves sausage. Especially G-Pin. Maybe I do need a CA. On the web platform, TLS verification is always enforced against the CA list of web browser. This is considered a security feature. So maybe I do need to do a secure one and give it a CA.
Seems like someone's got a serious beef with cider and a deep-seated grudge against Ben's cooking. Pepkek, am I right?
If I set it as client, then it should use the default CA. TLS error. What if I just ignore the error? spams me with errors. Done, no errors. Oh, such fast. No, it does not like this. Not. Has to deal with the error. If I instead go, let's take this one out of here because I don't need it. TLS options, client, etc, CA certificates, extracted CA bundle trust CRT. Where's he gone? X509 certificate. Load. So crt.load that string there, and in here I put CRT. With another bracket. TLS error. You barbecue year round, including the snow in sub-zero temperatures. Well, you are Canadian. How else are you going to cook your moose but on the barbecue? It won't fit on a George. You can't cook half a moose in the kitchen. It's got to be done on the barbie. I see no moose. Okay. That's where it wants to be. That path. Does it work now? No TLS error. Not enable the... Yeah, British barbecue is not like an American or Canadian barbecue. A British barbecue is about the size of this mug with a domed lid on it, if you're lucky. An American barbecue is about the size of my bed and can take an entire cow. You really want a built-in the backyard, yes. One built out of fire bricks. An outdoor kitchen, you mean? Not a barbecue, an outdoor kitchen. Chloe's backyard is less than a metre wide, yes. Well, you do live in the middle of Uddersfield or wherever. It's tricky, RF. It's really tricky. I'll just say, tour. You don't have enough yard for an outdoor kitchen. Would be nice, yes. Right, I can't even get why it's giving an error, what the error is. It's an error. I'm going to have to dig into the source code, aren't I? Where are we? Stream peer TLS, there it is. Random person pinged you about your V86P hacking because they're building an RP2040 based HDD emulator. Cool. Yeah, they're welcome to talk to me about it. There's something on Discord, is there? I saw somebody new arrive earlier, but I've not read Discord since. Ah, yes. Horan's Metlori or something. I haven't got the right glasses on to read it, but it sounds Polish. I shall chat to him later on after stream. Right, so... Connect to stream. Stream PTLS, connect to stream. Okay, so this is connect to stream is a virtual, so that must get overridden. So it's probably this embed TLS one is where it happens.
Oh, adverts. Go away. Majenko, I think you should check your microphone. It seems to have died.
She is quite right, it had died. I don't need to hump batteries. I've got a set of 8 in my charger at all times.
Those ads, you beautiful bastards.
What's this error fail conv v macro doing? Returning. Right, so that is actually giving me a message on there, isn't it? Where are we? TLS handshake error it's giving me. Right. And this is happening in embed TLS CPP line 88.
GP 24/7, ugh, ambient. Seriously, it's like Sonic wallpaper. Fine chat if you insist on being mellow. It's alright, I guess, if you're into being put to sleep. Don't expect any energy from it.
Right, so this is Embed TLS SSL handshake is what is giving me the error. Is the problem the same problem that I'm getting from trying to talk to YouTube through the default system? Might be. Let's have a look. What can I do that could work that's not mine? Let's have a look at the overlays. If I just try getting that, should fail to work, but it might at least handshake. Is it my certificate that it doesn't like? It is. Socket connected, page not found. It's my certificate it doesn't like. This is a problem with the core of Godot, that it will not talk to some certificates. It's a problem that I've actually raised or tried raising an issue on their Discord about it, and it's all just been ignored. That certain certificates it will not talk to. Just says TLS handshake error. There is a bug in Godot's core in here that it will not do the handshaking. HTTPS is a solution for a problem most people simply don't have. Absolutely. But it is a solution which exists and you have to deal with. I have no idea why it's so incessantly rammed everywhere. I know, it's pointless 99.9% of the times. I have no idea, GPin. I just let certbot do it for me. Whatever certbot generates. But Ben was telling me about something that often doesn't get set up right in TLS implementations that changed with some recent changes. I can't remember what it was he was on about. Yeah, let's put back mine, because it'd be interesting to get to the bottom of what is actually happening so that we can fix Godot. So that's the number 27648. 27648. As hexadecimal. Hmm. 60C100. I don't know. Possibly. Embed TLS. SSL handshake. Okay. Where is this function and what does it do? Where are the error numbers for all this? What was the URL that worked? Just any onto id.twitch.tv. I didn't need to run that again, did I? 27648. Was 6C00. 6C00 is embed TLS error SSL internal error. Just an internal error. Great. So Twitch is on 1 and 1.1. I'm on 1.2 and 1.3. Possible Godot doesn't support modern TLS. Yeah, quite possibly. Or embed TLS doesn't support modern TLS. Let's pull the latest version of Godot down. See what's changed. they updated Embed TLS or not? They have updated Embed TLS. Okay. Let's see about building the latest version of Godot. You can help me, Swarm, when I get back to working on Cinderlands, a big chunk of which is written in Godot but in C++. You can write your own modules for Godot in C++. Those are possibles, Matt, very possibles. But it may just be that Godot has been bundled with an old version of Embed TLS, which has obviously updated. So hopefully this will actually do something. To use the Git version of Godot until it's released. Break is due to enabling TLS 1.3 by default in 3.6.0.
Seems like someone's got a serious beef with HTTPS and TLS versions. Someone get a swarm of Didn 6 a gas tank to pump the ambient energy into, please.
Well, 1.3 shouldn't matter if 1.2 is available. In theory. I think more likely the version of Embed TLS that was bundled with Godot didn't know about anything newer than 1.1. So it saw that 1.1 and 1.0 disabled and said, screw you. I don't quite know what it's doing. We'll see what this newer version does. This is not sucking down all my bandwidth, no. This is compiling. Compiling on my main workstation, so it might be a bit slow. In fact, yeah, it's sucking down all my CPU. And my webcam background stuff is all done on CPU, so there's a lot of CPU usage at the moment. My CPU is completely pegged. No, I don't have 64 cores, I'm afraid. I only have 16 cores. Well, actually only 8 cores, which are hyper-threaded. I wish I did have 64 cores. I wish I had 128 cores. That would be nice. So long as my voice is coming through okay and the sound isn't breaking up. Split my colon and completely pegged. Yeah, this is definitely room 454.
Odd ads. Get ready for the capitalist nightmare, folks.
That might speed things up a little bit. Lower its priority, possibly. Yeah, it's still a bit sluggish. Yeah, that's Twitch for you, G-Pin. Does that with me as well sometimes. Well, we've reached almost 30% now. Almost a third of the way through. %, 33,792 errors. Ouch.
The ads, you masochists.
She likes calling you masochists for the adverts. You have new discs coming for the NAS. Might do a complete reinstall and you just get to upload the 5.7 terabytes again. That'll only take you a couple of minutes, won't it, Chloe? Third of the way through. Right, I'm going to need to close this off to run the new one. So glad the bot isn't running on my main computer.
Jeepin 24/7. Fine, fine. But don't blame me if it's terrible.
Oh, we will.
Princess Aurora was promised to Prince Bartholomew, a man whose personality was as exciting as a tax audit. Their wedding was imminent, but Aurelia was bored stiff. She's heard rumours of a hidden room in the castle, 454, where guests sometimes snuck off for activities. One night, she snuck away, finding the room occupied by a charming rogue who wasn't the prince. Let's just say the prince didn't get a honeymoon. Now shut up and let Majenko compile.
Oh no, the bot is completely on George. So you can't slow the computer down with the bot. get an offsite copy of this data before the end of the day today. This data turned out to be around 30 terabytes. Ouch. We're down to 9.38 frames per second. 7.5 frames per second. 11.25 frames per second. Whoa! You did manage it though, yeah? You just pick up the hard drives and walk out with them. I assume you sneaker netted it off the premises. Halfway through the compile. Ben is still away today, isn't he? He's away all week, isn't he? He's not going to start streaming in 20 minutes, is he? Yeah, I thought he was. He's gone all week. So you've got to suffer just me and nobody else. Finding food in weird places, odd crevices. Oh. Floor of 454. There's no food there. Trust me, there's no food there. Or if there is, you wouldn't want to eat it. It doesn't explain the rats then. Oh, they're toys. You've got rats because the hamsters are just too small. The gerbils are way too small. You need something bigger. Oh, 7.5 frames per second there. Whoa. We'll slow the build down a bit, and it should allow things to work properly.
Seriously? You're going to whine about a rodent Wamajankers battling a compile. Fine. What happened? Did it escape and join a rat colony in 454? Spell out.
It's still going slow, even supposedly limiting it to just 10 cores. I don't think that worked. Oh well, worth a try. Well, no, not really a problem at all, no. Not like there's anything going on. Not like we're playing Deponia or anything at the same time. That would be unplayable, that would. Not far off, 2/3 of the way through now, though. .2 of the way through, yes. Have I ever had a beard? Yeah, I've had a beard before now. A big bushy beard. Well, not really bushy. I kept it well trimmed, but yeah, I've had a beard. Yeah, I miss my beard sometimes, and then I think about how itchy it would get, and I don't miss it anymore. There's me with a beard. I keep getting tempted to have it back. When was that? It was about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 6. Advantages are twofold. You don't have to shave, and there's less of your face to be seen. Quite, yes. Pre or post lockdown? Pre. That was pre-lockdown. Nowadays, I just give it a once over with the old electric razor every day. I miss the lockdowns too. Bought myself a because I hate shaving, but I also prefer to be clean shaven than bearded. I just bought myself a cheap electric razor on Amazon the other day. It's crude but effective. You like pondering, don't you, Chloe? Instead of pondering, just eat. I've got a short beard since lockdown, yes. And I do have a beard trimmer around somewhere. Haven't used it for years. Shave your head and face using the same length razor and call it good. Fair enough. Right, a wet shave is preferable that it gives a much nicer result. And I do still, every now and then I have a wet shave. But the actual act of shaving I just find annoying, and I never get round to it and end up with stubble, and so I don't like having stubble, but I can't be bothered with the shaving, so I thought I'd just get a cheap electric razor, and just while I'm sat at my desk here I'll just idly shave away and keep it under control without having to go through the rigmarole of shaving. He sits here pulling hairs out of her face. And for special occasions, I'll have a proper shave. But this does the job for me. So I can just while I'm waiting for something like this to compile, I'll just have a shave. keep the stubble under control. So, and this was only like 25 quid or something on Amazon. It's been really quite good actually. Yeah. Hairy bugger. Well, I found the photo of me with a beard in under 10 seconds because I knew where there was one. For one of our choirs, we've got a website, and on that website, we've got pictures of all of us. And I knew that the picture of me on that website had a beard. So I just went to that website, found my picture, and there it was. And yeah, my razor, it's just, I just keep it by my desk here so I can use it whilst working. No, I'm not sitting on the toilet. The toilet doesn't rotate and wheel around. I hope. Yeah, I could probably do that on Memories on Nextcloud. It's got all categorization and AI image recognition and stuff. Vacuum with hose option next. I haven't looked at Imic, no. I mean, I use Memories because it's all integrated with Nextcloud, so I just throw everything onto Nextcloud, auto upload to Nextcloud, and it's all there. So if this integrated with Nextcloud, that'd be ideal. But it looks like it's a separate thing, isn't it? Looks nice though. I shall bookmark it and maybe have a play with it at some point.
Nice.
It looks very much like Google Photos, yes. I mean, Memories is the same. It looks and works very much like Google Photos. Homebox is on hiatus, so yes, I thought it might be. Yeah, before Google do like buggering around with the UI on things. I'm going to take a couple of minutes break whilst this is continuing to compile and get myself a drink. I shall be back in a moment. And I return. Two things Google likes most of all: flushing down any proper UI and closing projects. Yep. The thing Google likes most of all is money. That's true, yes. Ooh, we've suddenly jumped up to 100%.
For the capitalist bullshit.
Nearly done. Well, I heard that Google's problem is that they reward innovation amongst their teams. The way to get bonuses and promotion is to implement new features. There is no incentive for the staff to maintain existing features. They only get bonuses and what have you if they implement new amazing features. Which is why it's constantly new things coming through all the time. New. And all the older stuff is left to rot or is closed. Right. New version of Godot. Version 4.5. If you're a middle manager there, the biggest thing you can do is launch something new. Yep. That pretty much sums it up. Okay. So, if I just try running it straight away in this, let's see what happens. Seems rather slow, but I think it's debugging. It works! It freaking works! Right. Click, 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 seg fault. I think it's slow because it's possibly doing debugging stuff. No, it's just being slow. Probably find that now it doesn't lock up, quite possibly. But I still want my chunked data ability. But this now appears better and functional. Hello, what's it doing here? Oh, it's... No. What's it telling me about these functions here? Ah, warning me. No, it's not warning me that. Let's just clear these up a bit. Get rid of some of these warnings that I've got going on here. And we've got yellow stuff on these, and I don't know why, what it's supposed to signify. Is it linked with these warnings? Actually, I don't need this common name now, do I? Channeling my inner Adrian, indeed, yes. That can go now. Okay. Actually, I don't need these signals anymore. They're irrelevant. Parameter rec is never used in this one. So I'll just put an underscore. And then I've got this bit here. Which I don't know if I even need, do I? Do I need to pole that as well as the socket? Yes, I do. I don't connect to the stream until phase 3, so greater than phase 3.
Today, right after
0 errors now.
play hide and seek with Matt's package. Someone get
0 errors. That's good. Right. The basic functionality now is working. Thanks to an update to embed TLS. Actually, I wonder, is there an update to Godot in Pac-Man? No. Yeah, we're still on 4.4 there. They haven't released 4.5 yet. Ah, shitty link, yes. Easily had a parcel go missing with shitty link. We delivered it. You delivered somewhere. We have a GPS data. It's a set of low-rise flats. Your van doesn't go to the doors. They're on the second floor. Oh, that's nice, Chloe. That is nice. Built-in tracking. Right, so now I need helper functions on the request. I can set the body, I can actually add fragment. I'm not using add fragment, am I? That was when I was going to be having it handled outside of the request. That's what I'll handle inside the request. So I can get the protocol, get the host, get the body, set the body, get a header, add a header, get the URL. Let's move that down to here. Except I just lost it. Because I press Control C instead of Control V. Because I'm an idiot. get header, add header. Let's move these down to the rest of the getters and setters. Heat. Heat is a system that I tried implementing and was shit, so I turned it off. And obviously it's still there on the Twitch side. Heat is a system which is supposed to allow you to interact directly with my overlays. Because you click on the stream window itself, and it sends through the coordinates of that click to my system. Except the latency was so high it was pointless. So I don't receive any of that data anymore. Cup the Cat uses it to boop his puppet nose, yeah. I mean, I could, I suppose, have it implemented so you can click on the bot and it shoots the bot at that point where you click. Things like that. But I had bubbles floating up the screen randomly, and clicking on the bubbles would give you extra bot points. But you couldn't click on the bubbles because the latency was so slow, they'd floated off before the click even got to me. So, yeah. Absolutely Swarm, yes. Completely pointless for anybody on a TV or on a phone. It only works on the desktop web browser. So, I didn't bother. I didn't bother with it. I deleted that chunk of the code and just said screw it. So probably extensions. It might still be in my extensions here. Yeah, Heat is added at the moment. Uninstall. I'll delete it completely. There we go. Heat has gone. We are now a heat-free zone. M25, M5 by 25. Screw it. Yep. No, I'm a fan of M3. Hey, normal cursor is back. Yep. At the moment I've only got get, head, post, put, delete implemented. I've not got options, trace or patch. Or connect, options, trace or patch. I mean, connect is irrelevant really because that's for tunneling. Options? I don't know options. Trace I don't need. Patch could be used, possibly, in API calls. I should do patch. Stationary iPhone 8 with a 10-foot UI, yes. Apple TV. Right, I don't know if posting and things like that is actually working. It should be, it's just a case of setting the content length and the adding the body. Content type. the client will be setting, I think. But I might add a helper function of JSON which has a dictionary. So I do a lot of JSON stuff. So what I want to do is just a simple set body. Of JSON stringified data, and also set the content type header to be application JSON. What are you complaining about here? Expect a return type of void, idiot. Not null, void. Set header not found. Oh, add header. Although set header would be better, I think. Let's try a post. It won't work, but let's try it. And let's try my new rec JSON. Okay, and I shall take it out of HTTPS now that we know that's working, and go back to watching port 80. And we'll see what happens trying a post. Four or five not allowed. Sounds good to me. Not allowed. Getting an actual response back. Post hangs a gate on it. So post, content type, application JSON, content length 37, connection keep alive, and there's the data. That's JSON. Then it responds with a not allowed. Which is to be expected because it's trying to post to a text file, which is not going to work. Can't send a post to a text file. But the actual data looks good. We might actually be ready to use this in a live situation. If I consider using T-Shark rather than TCP dump, if I knew how to use it, possibly, but I've always used TCP dump, so I always use TCP dump. It's quick and dirty and shows me what I need and I know what the flags are.
Ads are happening, folks.
I don't know T-Shark. That would mean installing something new and learning something new. to install T-Shark. And then I'd have to, quick and dirty byline for chat, yes. Then I'd also have to remember that it exists. And yeah, I'll use it today. But then when I come to do some tracing next time, I won't remember T-Shark exists. Because TCP dump is what I always use. So T-Shark. Do I have to give it an Ethernet port?
You're welcome for the ads, you masochists.
I'm never going to remember this. Shell-basated double bar. Fine abrasive compound for polishing marine animals, yes. Okay, so we get all sorts of stuff that I don't need to know because it's all there in the header anyway. And then response. Yeah, it's pretty. It's prettier than TCP dump, but I can go A instead for that and get pretty much the same kind of information, really. There's the data. So it's prettier, but I don't see that it's any. Well, it's certainly not easier for me to use because I don't know the syntax, but I do know the syntax for TCP dump, and I'll never remember it exists. So I'll stick with TCP dump, thanks. What have you forgotten? I've installed what? New version of Godot. And filter syntaxes. It's the command line flags and things. I don't know what they do. I mean, I don't know what that Y did or the That's what man is for. Yeah. But I've got to remember that it even exists in the first place to be able to know what to type man for. Learning is bad, okay? Okay. Right, what do I want? What I really want is... Right, you and Screen versus Tmux. Well, I used to always use Screen. Always use Screen. I knew all the commands for Screen. But now I use Tmux because I found that Screen does mess with the terminal sometimes and doesn't always do things right. So now I automatically use Tmux and I know the commands for Tmux. And I can't remember the commands for Screen. I can have one of them in my head at once. I can either know the Screen commands or the Tmux commands, but not both. I have heard of a propos, but I don't know what it is. I think it's something to do with man pages, isn't it? Yeah, it's too modern for my usage. I'm used to having either a choice between man or, get this, info. Do you remember info? which can give you man pages, but it's also interactive for those that don't have man pages and have actual info pages. Why is it man and not woman? No manual entry for a woman. Yeah, read the info page, yes. Man's been replaced by Google these days. Yeah, apropos it probably is, yes. Info is one of the unfortunate GNU projects, yes. Aptopos. Just a way of indexing, basically, isn't it? And soon it'll be replaced with made-up nonsense. It already is, thanks to Google. Yeah. All that shit to then try and work through. What am I looking for? I can't remember now. Yeah, useful if you... For anything complicated like that, I've got a paper version. The paper version. Unix man pages. In print. Except, of course, it won't show them on there, will it? This is all API. All the C functions, all the networking functions, everything. All with examples. Fantastic book. Absolutely invaluable. Command you orders in 8, yeah. Right, let me go. New folder, Neo HTTP. And I'm going to move my Neo HTTP stuff into there. This shouldn't care. Still works, good. And we have 5 minutes left of the stream, by the looks of things. So, my next job will be attempting to integrate this with the stream overlays and overhauling the bot communication to use it. And another good thing with this system now is it has its own built-in queue. Whereas before I had to create my own queue as a wrapper around the HTTP connections. But this has it all built in. I just submit connections with callback signals linked and does it all for me, which is nice. Yeah, I started with Ultrix in 1993. My first introduction to Unix and man. I'm not sure if has Ultrix got a propos or not. It does. Cool. Not sure when this was built. Version 4.5. First system needs you install from scratch, purely with books, and a save handbook was FreeBSD 5.4. Modern. Cat is the oldest program, yeah. The first Unix system that I installed would have been Slackware 1.2. I think it was Slackware 1.2. And then I moved to FreeBSD 3.4, I think. Right. Well, I think we are done now for tonight. We've learnt that Godot have updated FreeBSD 3.4 Walnut Creek. That's how I used to get it. On the big chunky 4-disc Walnut Creek CD sets. Yes. No, that's just echo. We've learned that Godot have updated their embed TLS to work properly now. And we're really just waiting for them to actually release a new version of the software as a package for it to be officially supported. But for now, I'm going to sort of just fudge it with the Git version, I suppose. Still have your first computer. Oh, I wish I still had my first computer. That was a 48K ZX Spectrum. It was a Spectrum Plus, the one with the horrible plastic keys. Ugh. That area you only know from reading blogs and museums. Yeah, the where's my desktop one? The Spectrum Plus was horrible to work on. With inverted keys. With sharp edges around them. That was my first computer, that was. My second one was the Plus 2A. Which was this one. Spectrum Plus 2A, which was a Spectrum Plus 2, but just after Amstrad had bought Sinclair, and they released this Plus 2A, which had a slight difference on the I/O interface on the back. That's all. The only difference I can know of. Slight difference on the I/O interface on the back, which made a load of peripherals not work. Great, well done, Amstrad. But at least it had a proper keyboard on it, which was, after using the Plus, it was just joyous to have a real keyboard. Yes. You have to press hard because they used a 4-layer membrane. Yes. A Casio FX. I think I used to have a Casio FX. That certainly looks familiar anyway. Yeah, I think I had one of those at one point when I was younger. Plus 3, yes, I'd love... lusted after the Plus 3 with its 3-inch floppy drive. That's the Plus 3 with its 3-inch floppy drive. Floppy disk drive! I lusted after one of those. And then that was the end of the Spectrum. But there was the SAM, which was its sort of successor. Who was it made the SAM? It wasn't actually Sinclair. Sam Coupe. That's it. Miles Gordon, MGT. That was it. That was going to be a fantastic computer, the SAM was. It's such a shame it never took off. But I remember reading about those in the magazines, and I just lusted so hard after one of those. Went to a local launch event for the Sam Coupe. Oh, nice. Hideously dated, yes.
Seems like everyone's
But compared to what the Spectrum had at the time, I mean, the graphics were just
that shit in his basement somewhere.
phenomenal. I mean, that's Mode 4. I mean, compared to the Spectrum, that was just mind-blowing, being able to do graphics like that. Yes, new machine based on the Z80 when the 16-bit systems were right there, yeah. Yeah, it was doomed to fail. Absolutely doomed to fail. It had Spectrum compatibility, you see, which opened up the world of games to it. So, but there were Spectrum games. Yeah, competing with the SD and the Amiga, it had absolutely zero chance. Zero chance whatsoever. But yeah, I mean, comparing its graphics to the Amiga's graphics were just like taking the piss, really. Nice. This is IMIC, yes. I am quite liking IMIC, actually, from what I've seen of your usage of it. So I might experiment with moving my pictures over to IMIC on George or something, maybe. See how it goes. My problem is my actual server in the cloud has got tiny amount of space, no hard drive space at all. So I've got to be very careful what I put on the server. I've got 2.1 gig available. It's full, my server. And I've got 24 gig of photos. It's not going to fit. In fact, my photos would just fill the entire hard drive on my server, yes. So yeah, that's why I'll run it on George. But I've got my own tunneling that I do. It all goes onto my server and then comes through an SSH tunnel. All proxied by Nginx, however you want to call it, if you want to call it. Cockpit, yeah, I like a bit of Cockpit. Cockpit's quite nice. It's quite nice for finding the services that have failed in System D. Because System D normally is an absolute pain to try and manage like that. But when you can go into cockpit, and it'll actually show these services have failed and have got problems. You can then actually deal with them. That's what I use cockpit for. Just grab the system control. That's horrible though. I use system control on sufferance. Go put in an appearance and cook dinner. Yep, and I should finish the stream. Right. Let's finish the stream. Where's everything gone? There it is. Right. Thank you for joining me today. I'll be back tomorrow. Usual time, usual place. Thank you for the subs and the gifted subs and the bits and all that stuff.
You beautiful boss.
I like to think that we had a bit of fun today anyway. we got a good result. We've got some good results from it. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow, 7 PM British summertime, doing more stuff. I don't know what yet. Maybe, oh, thank you very much, Topaz. Maybe we'll dust off the new instalment of Deponia tomorrow and have a play of some games instead for a change. Yes, Deponia, I think. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I might be deep in doing some other programming or something and do that instead. Who knows? Anyway, here comes the outro. We'll see what we do tomorrow. We'll do what we do, and we won't do anything else. You can read up on some custom HTTP client code if you're... no need, it's working. It's all happily working. I mean, over time I will probably enhance it and add things to it and make it a bit more stable and forgiving, but for now it's fine. It'll do the job for me. I'll introduce it to the bot at some point. Speaking of the bot. Nope. High load oriented. I don't do high loads. Come on, bot. There we go.
Time to wrap this up. Huge thanks to everyone who tuned in today. Seriously, you're the best. Special shout out to Stream Elements and Majenko Bot for being awesome bots. Big love to a swarm of Did Insects for the 2 subscriptions. You're a legend. Thanks to Chloe Raku for the chaos, Matt Inks for the retro knowledge, CP Developer for sleeping, I guess, Dopaz for just being you, our RAF programmer for the Bavarian vibes, Jeeping 24/7 for the thanks, Princess Fuzzy Butt for the tangents, and our beloved Pet Canadian for keeping things retro. And of course, massive thanks to Matt Inks and our RAF programmer for subscribing. See you next time.
See you next time. Yep, thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good night. Yeah, the bot is considerably better than he was. Now he's got a bigger brain.
Enterprise, this is the captain.
I do apologise. I'm an idiot.
Damn, I'm looking good.